turn that on. Is that going to work? Just turn that on. Okay, yeah, you can hear the reverberation. So hello everybody. This is a short stream about a course I'm doing at the moment because I thought I'd share it with you because it's a really good course and it's very helpful. So I'm trying to improve some skills at the moment, get my skills polished up in some new software that I'm learning. So I'm going, as you see from some of my YouTube videos, I'm going from 3ds Max to Modo, and then I'm perhaps going to learn Octane, the rendering software, just keeping up with new skills. As you get older and use stuff, there's absolutely no excuse not to keep up with skills. So I found this really good website, LearnSquared.com. It's got a lot of industry leaders who teach the courses. With a lot of other courses I found, I didn't really like them so much because it was either very technical, you know, sort of using things like ZBrush, etc., or it was completely arty, like, you know, how finding your inner voice as an artist to make money, that sort of thing. So this is a really good balance for me. So it gets me back on track with new skills, and then it's really, really creative as well. So I'm doing this course, Cinematic Concept Design with John Sweeney. And then I'm going to go and do concept architecture with Maxim Zeshkov. So I'm looking forward to that. Uh-oh, my app says that there's an earthquake somewhere. I've got an earthquake app. Let's have a look. So this one is Maxim Zeshkov. So that's going to be good because it doesn't say what it is. I've got an app at the moment because of that La Palma volcano in case it goes off. So just in case it does slide into the sea and cause a tidal wave. It's very unlikely. So this one, and this one's good because he teaches you how to make 360 look around, so you can do that with your VR devices. And then finally I want to do this UI design with Ash Thorpe. It looks very good. A lot of the students are making stuff that looks similar to his work, which obviously that happens, and it really looks amazing. But I want to use it to make my own traditional drawings and sort of mess around with that using the same techniques as that. So the courses basically encourage you to make a project. They don't encourage you to copy an existing piece of work that the instructor's doing. So anyway, let's go to GIMP or GIMP, because I'm not using Photoshop at the moment. I'm just using this open source software, which is perfectly fine because it does what I need to do at the moment. When I want to do things like make some 360 scenes with Photoshop, I'll go back onto Photoshop and do the rental for that. Let's just check out if anyone's listening. There's one person watching, so say hi if you want, and then I can answer your questions as well. Did I spell that correctly? Cinematography breakdown, images development work. Okay. So these live videos, one tends to ramble, but I'll try not to. So anyway, he encourages us in the first part of the course to find a film, one of the films he recommends. So one of the films he recommends with really good cinematography. So in this one is The Tree of Life, and sort of make the columns into the images so that they kind of relate, they're kind of similar to each other, be it similar focal field, etc. I just kind of did it with colors, and that one's nature. That sort of looks that kind of cool, kind of what I call the hipster filter, which is quite beautiful actually, although that's probably just a fashion of the last few years. Hopefully it'll stick around because it is nice. And then this is the nature column, as I said. That's more sort of dynamic column except that one. And this is just some more stuff as well. So, you know, cinematographic shots from really good movies like this look beautiful. It almost looks like a film exhibition. So then after that, he tells us to go to, and I'm not doing this so you don't have to do the course. This is like the tip of the iceberg. So don't think what I'm telling you here is what the course is, the entirety of the course. So anyway, so he takes us through a breakdown that he does. I think it's from the film Leon, so that gives some really, really interesting information, and then he gets us to choose 3 images from the mood board that we had here. I mean, the images I chose, I probably could have chosen some of the images are more interesting, but these, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do because I'm doing stuff for my 3Z universe, and these images, the kind of compositions that I want to look around, mess around with. And also what I forgot to say, the great thing about the course is that he encourages us to take photographs of real people and then put those into the scenes. So it stops us having to fiddle around in programs like DAZ or the open source program Make Human. And we can use real life props. So I'm all for that, mixing traditional and digital and then getting it done as quickly as possible and not getting too technical about things when you don't need to. Just do it to get the stuff out there. Don't do it just for the sake of it. Don't be a techie. Be a creative. So that's the first image of this one. So that's a dinosaur in a valley. I'll just check, see if anyone's asked me a question. No one's asked me a question. So you break it down here. So you put it into flat shapes. It almost looks like a sort of flash animation, like an old school flash animation you used to get on websites. And then you start to see patterns emerging and you play around with it, break it down even more. So I've got a triangle shape and then the dinosaur is kind of a triangle, so your eye is kind of leading out into this open sky in the valley. Very beautiful. And then finally this one as well. And then looking back on it, some of the things, I've reduced it so much I feel it has taken away some of the composition, but you don't have to go back and edit this. This is kind of rough, but just keep that in mind as you're developing your final pieces. So the second one, this interesting desert scene, 2 figures, one further behind, the sun shining there, almost in the center of the shot, and then creating this awesome shadow here, and then shadows there. So it's kind of a very triangulated shot. Then breaking it down like that, breaking it down to very elements like that. I kind of lost the triangulation there, but again, keeping it in mind when I develop the, in my final piece. So this one, looking up, then breaking down the colors, as you break down, seeing how the colors relate, getting rid of the least important ones that you think are least important, and then taking that down to just basic triangle with the white thing there. And with regards to the lights, I just crunched them up and put them on one dot there. So as it were, here you've got looking up with the lights making a nice pattern in the background. And I've evolved it to this here. And anyway, from that you go on to make 25 rough sketch ideas from, one of the images that you're going to use as an influencer for your work. You're not going to copy it, that's not the thing, it's just influencing it. So for example, the one I'm doing is this one. So I'm going to get a dark space here. It could be a tall building with the light, or alternatively it could be, this is a lit wall or an ice cavern kind of wall, and this is the figure, and then that's darkness. So you can kind of invert the solids and the voids in your piece as well. So that's that. So the next stage, I've done 25 sketches. I'll try and tweak that, and then you go on to do a Photoshop and then make a 3D graphics in Modo actually, which is convenient because I'm learning that. And then he asks you to do 6 more image breakdowns, so like this one, and then you've got the triangulation going on. I kind of lost the triangulation there, so if I wanted more time, I could emphasize the triangulation of the blinds, but it's no big deal. It's kind of the sort of thing's really good because it just sticks in your mind. It's one of these things you can bring up in your mind when you're taking a photograph. And I'm walking around at the moment, in the streets and things, and you're starting to notice stuff that you could, take a photograph. It looks cinematographic. So here's the light behind in the mountains. So breaking it down, nice beautiful colors. Breaking it down further to just this element here, and then keeping that in mind. So although these images I won't develop, I'm actually going to develop all 3 of these images as an idea for my 3Z universe work, but I'll just leave these influence images just on the back burner for now, but just sort of keep it on, something like a Pinterest board so I can refer to it or something. And then that's got the verticals walking along, and again just breaking it down to that. And then this one, very simple, breaking it down. There's not really a classical strong composition to this, but you do learn things. So for example, there's rhythm, so there's a d, 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 as you can see, d, 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 and then the final one, d, d, d. So there's interesting stuff even happening in the abstract scenes, and that's kind of why I wanted to look at that one. Again, sparklers there, taking it down, lights. Probably should have had a light where that face was there, kind of like a sort of triangle there. And then this final one, that's breaking it down. Again, not much contrast, the same as this one. As opposed to, look at the contrast there of colors, of light and dark, as opposed to these two. Not much contrast, and then very little, very pastel colors, very little contrast. But it kind of relies on more the abstractness of the light and the shininess of the lights. So there you go. So tune into my social media channel over the next week or so, see how these develop, and see how the photo shoot develops. I'm going to have to order some props, some the props are quite cheap, so a disposable welding suit is like a thing with a hood. So I'm going to do sort of futuristic character like that. So that's only like, I think it's £5, £5 UK pounds. I might put a backpack on the character, so you can use a drink bottle, Coke bottle, and then spray it silver and that kind of thing. So these props will look really good and like something out of a movie, but they can be done on the cheap, which is really good. So you can spend your money on better stuff, well, more fun stuff. So there you go. So thanks very much. Remember to tune into my YouTube channel. I try to put a video out every week. It's this channel, so you can subscribe to that. My Twitter is James Abel Arts, and my Instagram is James Abel Arts as well. And well, it's not as well, it's just James Abel Art. And check out my website, jamesabelart.com/blog, for my 3Z universe work. See how it develops. I'm going to be taking that a lot further. I'm going to start doing some scenes in VR. I'm going to start putting some of the 3D models. There's 3D print model downloads that you can pay for a price to get the digital file, so you can print out some of the creations yourself and then even paint them. And I've got loads of stuff around the corner for that. And eventually I'm going to try and get the 3Z universe book together, kind of a graphic novel kind of / coffee table book. So thanks very much for now. And what's happening? Yeah, I'm going to do some drawing now. Draw every day. And Inktober is the 29th. So as well as doing draw every day, I've been doing Inktober, so conveniently every draw every day this month was an ink drawing as opposed to a pencil sketch. So tune into that. You can check that out on Instagram, James Abel Art. Yeah, I said that in a really cheesy way, didn't I? James Abel Art. So thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon. And remember to ask any comments and questions. I'll just check to see if anyone has asked any comments or questions here. And no one has asked any comments or questions here. And I'm just going to change the spelling mistakes on that. Actually, the description on this, which is wrong. So thanks very much, and bye-bye for now.